welcome back to Momina's Mixedplate, Season 3, powered by Insignia Shoes. This is our season finale, and the guest that I have today is very special. The reason why I selected my guest today, who I will just introduce you guys to, is because he is doing something that nobody in Pakistan has done. And that is one of the reasons why I wanted to close this season with him. He has a movie coming out. He's an animation director. I'd never even heard of anybody in Pakistan being an animation director. Like animation is always either anime in Japan or Pixar or Disney. So we have somebody here who's making waves internationally. His movie, The Glassworker, is about to come out very soon. Like in a few months, it'll be out. It'll be hitting the market across the globe. So I have Usman Riaz with me. He is a fantastic young talent in Pakistan. So let's get to know him. Before we bring him on, you guys don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can be part of the Momina's Mixedplate family. And let's welcome on Usman Riaz. Hi, Usman.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure. First of all, I think you are possibly the first animation director I've ever met in my life.
Oh, wow.
I don't think I've ever met anybody else who does this. What all does it entail, and how did all of this come about?
It's been an extremely long journey. I have been drawing, obviously, since I was a child, and I've been obsessed with animation. But I never thought it would be a reality in Pakistan. And always, I was thinking if somebody started an animation studio here in Pakistan, hand-drawn animation, I would join in a heartbeat. But that never happened. So I've been drawing since I was small. I've been playing music since I was small. I'm a classically trained pianist. So I began pursuing that more. The music picked up. I released a few solo compositions. I was selected for TED in 2012. That was an amazing experience. I was selected as a TED Fellow. And at the time, I was the youngest TED Fellow ever selected, which was a huge honor. I performed percussive guitar on stage with a pioneer of percussive guitar called Preston Reed, who was one of my heroes growing up. So that was incredible. That kind of launched me into just being able to attend these conferences and travel the world and see all these incredible people. And that was an amazing experience, and I kept attending subsequent TED conferences as a TED Senior Fellow. And then I begged my way into a conference in Japan because I knew that with my animation passion, Japan would understand what I want to do. So in 2015, I went to Japan and gave a talk at an event called TEDx Tokyo. And as soon as I gave my talk, it didn't go very well because nobody really spoke English, and my talk was in English. There was no response. So after the talk, which I poured my heart out about how much I love animation and Japanese animation, I was backstage kind of feeling like I blew it. But then I was miraculously invited to my favorite animation studio in the world, Studio Ghibli. I got to go there. I got to visit a bunch of animation studios in Japan and really learn the craft and see how they do it. They all encouraged me to, yes, you can potentially work in Japan, but why don't you start your own studio in Pakistan? That's really how the ball got rolling. And Mariam and I started Mano Animation Studios, and then Khizr came on board, our producer, and then the team slowly started snowballing. We have our founding members, Amir, Rifat, Sophia Abdullah, and we are doing traditional hand-drawn animation, the animation that we love and the animation that we obsess over. And yeah, The Glassworker is going to be a culmination of all of that.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay, so tell me, here, a lot of people kind of disregard animation, cartoon hai bachon ke liye. It's it's for kids. It's not for I love animation. I've never been into Japanese anime, but I've enjoyed pretty much, I even one of the shows that I love the most is an animated show. It's like a BoJack Horseman.
It's amazing.
It's a fantastic show. And I even
so
tell my
good.
manager that she reminds me of Princess Carolyn. She's exactly Princess Carolyn in a nutshell. And I keep telling her to watch the show because I'm you remind me of that character. It's so real, and it's animated. And what kind of work goes into producing an animation?
Animation, especially the kind that we're doing, is very, very labor intensive. Because it's hand-drawn, every single frame that you see on screen of the characters moving, emoting, talking, jumping up and down, doing those things, that's all drawn by hand. So you have to be a very good artist you have to have a firm understanding of human anatomy. But even if you're a good artist, you still need to have an understanding of movement, and specifically animation movement. So there are a lot of technicalities that go into exaggerating human movement in animation to make it pleasing to the eye and just make it interesting to watch. So everything is drawn by hand. And then the backgrounds, so the setting, all the art direction, everything is painted by hand to get the composition and the framing. And there are about 1,400 shots in our film. So every single one has about 50 drawings each shot. And then a hand-painted background, in many cases a very big background to get movement in it. So very, very labor-intensive. Animation in general, even if it's CG animation, again, is also very labor-intensive. I guess the priorities are just different for hand-drawn versus CG.
I have to take a moment just thinking about 1,400 frames took me
Yes.
away. I actually don't know what to even say.
1,400 individual cuts.
Individual
and then
cuts.
In each cut, there are about 30 to 40 frames of animation. So you can do the math and see how much
I'm
work
doing the
it
math.
is.
I'm gonna show this episode to my father, because every time I say I want to go watch an animated movie, he's like, oh, that's for kids. And I'm like, now when he's gonna listen to this, he's gonna be like, I'm definitely going out to kind of watch this film. Tell me a little bit about like the expression, because I mean, expressing through animation and then expressing like storytelling and like expression through, like, how do they differ? Like for you, like for like a motion picture versus an animation motion picture, how does the expression differ in both of them?
So again, in animation, the filmmaking around the animation is so different from live action, because in live action you have your director. I'm directing this film, but you don't have actors to work with. The animators are the actors essentially. How the whole process starts is, obviously you have a script, you have your world building, so you do your art direction, your character designs, but then I have to draw the entire movie out, almost like a comic book. So those 1,400 individual cuts were actually 1,400 storyboards that I drew, with very detailed character designs and environment details in there, so that the team can then take that forward and improve on it and build on it. But you don't have actors to work with, so you don't have ideas that you can bounce off. Maybe an actor can bring a lot to a character just by the way they move on screen, or the way they want to say a line. In hand-drawn animation, the animator working on that shot is the actor. They have to bring that movement, that characterization to each individual character themselves.
And that expression as
and
well.
the expressions, exactly. So there's no one to bounce ideas off of. You just have what you can draw, and if you aren't able to draw those things or execute those things, then obviously that shot is taken away from you and somebody else does it who can execute the vision that I had planned for the shot, or I do it. But we have a very, very good team. So animation director in the world of animation is also a separate term. So I'm the director of the film. I am an animator as well, so I do a lot of the shots, but our animation director is a separate entity entirely as well, where he oversees, Amir Rifat, our animation director, oversees every single thing being done on the floor with the animators or our outsourcing partners to get the character designs and everything to match up with the character design team, etc. So there's a lot of hierarchy that goes into each individual cut that you see on screen. Like our art director, Mariam, she plans out all the backgrounds, all the lighting, everything else. Our character designer puts the consistency in the characters, and then managing this whole thing is our producer, Khizr, who is just like, it's like a complete circus. Many times while I'm working on a shot, and he just walks through the studio and he looks at me, and then looks at the studio, everyone working, collaborating. It's chaotic, but he taps me on my shoulder and said, this whole circus, it's your fault, Usman. Well, I'm very grateful. Like I said, I have an incredible team, and we're working as hard as we can.
I'm so proud to actually even just like looking at like when I first read your article in Variety, and then the Golden Globes Awards .com, goldenglobes.com,
Yes.
right? Like you shared that with me.
Yes.
It was just fantastic to just see the kind of like, you know, the recognition and like that you've been getting like before the film is even released.
Yes.
For it, like there's a lot of hype behind it. There's a lot of there's a lot of push kind of coming through globally as well to kind of
Yes.
make this happen. You very openly speak about your love for Japanese anime. How do you what draws you to Japanese anime more so than say, other animation like maybe I guess there are probably CG animations like Pixar and all are probably
Yes.
CG, and this is probably hand drawn.
Yep.
Okay,
Exactly.
I answered my own question.
Absolutely. So I'll tell you one thing, that Charles Solomon, when I went to Los Angeles, he's a Disney historian.
Yeah.
He's written many books on what Disney does. Disney started off with hand-drawn animation. So Snow White was the first hand-drawn
Yeah.
animated feature film that Walt Disney himself directed. And Charles Solomon said something very interesting to me that I love that quote that he said. He said that CG animation, and now I have nothing against CG. I love CG. That takes a lot of work as well. But he said computer generated animation tries to imitate reality, but hand drawn animation gives the impression of reality. And that moved me very much. And that put into words why I like hand drawn more than CG. But there's some phenomenal CG work being done in Pakistan. And of course, the great Sharminobed Chinoy kicked off this whole animation revolution that's starting in Pakistan with Teen Bahadur. And they have had 3 subsequent films, and then Donkey King has come out, and Allah Yar and the Legend of Markhor, amazing, amazing films. So I'm hoping that our contribution can contribute to the world of Pakistani animation, and then this is our little contribution to the world of hand-drawn animation.
That's incredible. And like, why do you think that there's a gap? Like so far, like I mean, why is even CG animation not where it could be in Pakistan?
That's a loaded question actually, because CG animation relies heavily on computer rendering. And if you don't have the infrastructure to, like these huge render farms to make very intricate scenes with very intricate lighting, high polygon count, and all of that, it's very difficult to achieve that same look that you and we are all accustomed to from films like Pixar or Disney, where they have tremendous resources to make their films. With us, I'm pretty sure that we struggle with that. I don't want to speak for anybody here, but I think that some of the films that were made, yes, they could have looked better, but I think this is also the start. And once we keep making content and keep making work, it'll only keep improving. I think that Allah Yar actually did an incredible job with their visuals.
It was very good.
They did
very well
an
done.
incredible job with the resources that they had using the Unity engine that they used to make the film. I think that was absolutely incredible. With our animation, I'm a stickler for quality. I did that with everything that I do, and thankfully I'm resourceful enough that I can also make the shots and make things look the way I want. But like I said, I have a very talented team, and we all want to make something that we can contribute to the global world of animation. But we're not limited by computer technology with the style of animation that we've chosen, because we're limited to our drawing capability. So that is a big advantage in terms of achieving a look that is of international standard. But I think that as we keep working in Pakistan, slowly the technological hurdles will go away, and we'll be creating good work. But I always say this to everybody, even when I was at Annecy, we got a lot of incredible recognition there and acclaim. I'm very grateful for that, but animation is just a vehicle for storytelling. The story has to be good for people to be immersed in the world. The animation is, of course, if it doesn't look good, people will come out of it. It has to be of a certain quality, but story is key, and story pushes everything forward. If you have a good story, and we've had some amazing people contribute to our film in terms of the story and how we wrote the script based off of the original story that I wrote. Moya O'Shea is an award-winning scriptwriter from the UK who's worked on a number of projects and won a lot of awards. I'm very grateful. She worked on the film. Jeffrey Wexler, who is the chief of international of Studio Ponok and Studio Ghibli, he's contributed to the project. Manuel Cristobal, an acclaimed producer from Europe who's won a lot of awards at the Annecy Film Festival. Studio Ghibli bought his film Wrinkles in 2013. He has contributed to the stories. We have wonderful people who are helping us keep that at the forefront. That kahani achhi honi chahiye. Animation, I will make sure, and our animation director will make sure, and our art director and our whole team will make sure the animation looks good. But the story is the most important thing.
So you've not revealed too much about the Glassworker.
No.
You have not. And like we're just a few months away from your now release of the film. It's fall of 2023.
Yes.
And we're sitting in April 2023 right now. So could you give us a little bit of a teaser? Like right at the final push?
With everything that I've done, mystery is very, very important.
You also are a very mysterious guy. You look it.
It's very important because that's what creates intrigue. People talk, they whisper what's going on, the conversations that go on. I firmly believe in that. So this is all very, very intentional. Some people thought that the Glassworker is still not being made and that Mono Animation Studios had shut down. And then suddenly we were at Annecy talking about everything that we're doing. So a lot of that is very intentional. But I can give a little bit of information that we're in the final stretch and things are almost done, and I can't wait to share more with everybody. So,
I'm very excited. I'm super excited. And I wish you all the best. It's a very large undertaking that you've taken on, and I really do wish and hope that it brings you more success and more doors open for you than you have even imagined.
Thank you. I'm very, very grateful.
And with that, I'm going to have to say goodbye to you and to our season as well. So thank you so much for taking out the time. It's been a real pleasure speaking with you. And I hope to see the Glassworker very soon.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much for having me here. It's a pleasure, and I can't wait to share more.
I know, I can't wait.
Thank you.
And I hope you guys enjoyed, the episode and the season. It's been a wonderful ride. Like, I want to give out a special thank you to Insignia Shoes for making all of this possible, to all our partners and collaborators that came on board, from Abbas Carpets to Yoka, Polish Candles. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I am so grateful. And I hope you guys enjoyed the season. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can be part of the Momina's Mixed Plate family. And I'll see you next time. Take care.